Hi everyone, welcome to our second Read With Me. Today we're going to read a Japanese folktale. A lot of our students really love these Japanese stories because they don't know much about Japan, and especially during this pandemic, it's a chance to see a world that you wouldn't otherwise see. And it also has cats in it, so that's a extra bonus. A lot of students love animals, especially cats. So it's called The Beckoning Cat. And so the first thing we would talk about is, what does beckoning mean? What does it mean to beckon? Um, at the end of the story, we're going to talk about how we beckon in Japan versus how we beckon in India or the US, since a lot of students are from India. So beckon means to call someone, to ask them to come towards you. So in the US, we usually beckon like this. We take our palm and go like that. But in Japan, it's a little different. This is an old story, but these cats, a lot of shop owners still have them for good luck. They put the little cat statues on their tables to give them luck. And we'll see why. It's a really cool story. Long, long ago, a young boy named Yohei lived with his father in a village by the sea. Every morning, when the sun peeked out over the ocean, he got up and went to the port to buy fish. He then sold the fish door to door, carrying them in two wooden barrels suspended from a pole balanced on his shoulder. Yohei worked hard, but he was still poor. When his father became sick, Yohei worked even harder to earn enough money to buy medicine. But he could only carry 2 barrels of fish at a time. He sighed and wished he could sell more. Now, sighed is also another word that we've studied before in most of our classes, but it might be a new word for some students. So we would just go over that. To sigh means to go, and some students might be able to demonstrate what that means. So I would say, come on, sigh for me. Show me how you would sigh. One rainy evening, as Yohei was cooking rice at home, he heard a tap on his door. When he opened it, he found a cat shivering in the rain. Her white fur was splattered with mud. She meowed, asking to come in. So she goes, meow. A poor stray cat, Yohei said as he let her in and dried her with a towel. After serving dinner to his father, Yohei took some rice and half of the fish from his own meager plate and fed the cat. Look how happy she looks. She's licking her lips. When she finished eating, the cat jumped onto Yohei's lap and rubbed her soft white fur against him. Yohei's stomach growled with hunger, but her purring made him happy. The next morning, the cat was gone. So, just a comprehension check. Why is Yohei's stomach growling? What did he do with his food? So Yohei gave his food to the cat, so that's why she's happy, but that means he doesn't have food. So he's hungry. 3 days later, when Yohei was in the village selling fish, his neighbor Masa came running toward him. Yohei, come home! Your father has a high fever! Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When Yohei answered, a young woman in a colorful silk kimono stood before him. "Hello? How can I help you?" Yohei asked in surprise. So she's wearing a kimono. It's a Japanese dress. It wraps around in the front. "Are you a fishmonger?" she asked, pointing to the fish in the wooden barrels. "How funny! A cat calling a customer to a fishmonger. Ha!" She laughed lightly, covering her mouth with her kimono sleeve. "What do you mean?" asked Yohei. "Isn't she your cat, the white one? As I left my sewing teacher's home, she meowed at me. After taking a few steps, she turned and waved her paw as if to say, 'Come here.' She was so adorable that I followed her." So the cat is beckoning the woman. She's telling the woman, "Come here." Yohei was stunned. He told her how the cat had first visited him. "What a remarkable cat," the young lady said, smiling. "She must have called me here to buy your fish." Then she asked him to strap 3 fish for her. Bowing, Yohei thanked her. So that's something else they do in Japan. They bow. To bow as a show of thanks or respect. Soon after, Yohei heard another knock on his door. When he answered, he saw an old man who owned a large store in a nearby town. "Hello, sir. What brings you here today?" Yohei asked, surprised to see a rich merchant visiting his humble home. "So it was your cat," the merchant said, his eyes widening. "She must have heard me talking about fish." "About fish?" Yohei asked. "This morning, my daughter-in-law had a baby boy. I wanted 10 large snappers for a party I'm going to give in my grandson's honor. As soon as I left home to look for a fishmonger, your white cat came by and meowed, beckoning me with her paw." He waved his hand, mimicking the cat. "I couldn't help following her, and here you are with all these fish." Yohei was so astonished that he told the merchant about his father and how the cat had come to his home. "My goodness, she's calling customers on your behalf," said the merchant. "I've never heard of a cat repaying a kindness. These days, even people forget to show their gratitude." Then the merchant took out a silver coin, enough to buy a whole barrel of fish, and gave it to Yohei. "Here is the money for the snappers. Now keep the change and take care of your father." Yohei thanked the merchant over and over with deep bows. So he's going bowing. One after another, people came to Yohei's home, invited by the cat. By the afternoon, the fish in both barrels were gone. The customers praised his cat and promised to come back the next day. In this way, Yohei was able to sell his fish while taking care of his father. From that day on, the white cat lived with Yohei and kept inviting customers. People came from far away just to see the beckoning cat. Yohei sold more and more fish, and soon he was able to open his own shop. His father got better thanks to the medicine that Yohei was able to buy. All the other merchants wished they had a cat just as clever as Yohei's. That is how the beckoning cat became a good luck symbol in Japan. People began to make porcelain cats holding up one paw like Yohei's cat. See how she has one paw raised? Merchants of all kinds put them in their stores in hopes of bringing in new customers and welcoming old ones. So all these different shop owners have little porcelain cats, and they're hoping the cats will attract new customers. So the next time you go to Japan, or even to an Asian restaurant in America, look for the beckoning cat perched on the counter. If she is there, you will know why. So after reading, we would have a little discussion. And the first thing we would do is just see if students can summarize this story. What was the story about? For younger students or beginning English students, I would give them some sentence starters to help them, and older students would do it themselves. The next thing is we would talk about what the beckoning cat became. See if you can answer this one. The beckoning cat became a symbol of... And then we would talk about whether we have any symbols of good luck in our shops. Have you ever been to a shop that had a little statue for good luck? I think I've been to some stores that had a little Ganesh statue, or in the US there are some stores that have Jesus or Mary, because there are a lot of Christian stores. So thank you so much for watching our read with me. Let me know on Instagram what you thought about this story, and if you have ever seen this beckoning cat in any Japanese stores or any other statues.